Just hitting record. See what the hell happens. Okay, people. Welcome back to another Fwoosh Weekly. As always, I'm Robo. Always have been. Always will be. No matter where my travels take me. And yes, I have some serious things to talk about, but before that, palate cleanser, let's talk about some toys. Yes, YouTube. Toys. Talked about buying adult with adult problems. I got a mortgage, going bald, already bald, whatever. My shoulder hurts maybe 80% of the time I'm awake. I'm trying to get my kid back and forth to band practice and marching band at school, and one kid in college, and one married and moved away. An adult talking about adult collectibles online, but that doesn't matter. Again, we'll get to that. As you know, it's been 2 weeks since we've spoken face-to-face. I missed you. Last weekend, I was at GalaxyCon in Minnesota, and holy shit was it cold. But the collectors up there are awesome. I am now an honorary member of the Minnesota Toy Posse. Well, they didn't actually say that, but I got the pins, I got the shirt on the way, so I'm crashing their party. Dave, John, Grayson, Jeremy, y'all made me feel right at home in a faraway frigid land. Sam, jury's still out on whether we are friends or arch enemies. Like I said, it's been 2 weeks. A lot of toy news has happened. We're going to talk about that first because that's what I love. Here's some new pretty promotional pics of the upcoming Transformers War for Cybertron Earthrise figures like Wheeljack. He seems a little bit off though. I don't know what it is. A little bit skinny in places, maybe a little bit leggy, but at the same time, it has all those Wheeljack elements that I loved as a kid. So, Wheeljack's on the list. It's not off enough for me to go, well, skipping one of my childhood favorites. Hoist is also in that category, but not as high on the list as Wheeljack. I remember Hoist. I know Hoist. I remember pushing Hoist around on my big blanket fort that I push up on the bed and it became a mountain and you could drive up and come down. Hoist was there. Not as important as Wheeljack though, to me. Ironworks falls even further down that list because I actually don't know who this is. But it wouldn't surprise me in the comments somebody goes, hey dumbass, he was in season 1 of the G1 cartoon. I don't think he was, but he may have been. I'm getting old. Memory's all going. And then there's Cliffjumper. That's right. They're making Cliffjumper in this line before Bumblebee. How crazy is that? Don't get me wrong. I love Cliffjumper, probably more than Bumblebee, but Bumblebee being what Bumblebee is these days, I'm surprised he wasn't right out of the gate and we're already seeing our second and third versions of Bumblebee. And I forgot where I was going with this. Anyway, Mr. Clifford Joseph Umper here. I made myself laugh. He just looks so cute in his big old packaging. Like there's a lot of empty space in there. Almost as if this should be offered at a lower price point, but we all know that ain't gonna happen. But I'll probably gripe about that all the way to checkout, and then I'll pay for him and gripe on the way to the car, and then gripe all the way home where I'll put him still in the box in my pile of other Transformers that I haven't had a chance to open yet because I just don't have room for all of it. But someday I'll have that display space and I'll go, here are my G1 Transformers that look amazing, and Cliffjumper will be within that beautiful scene someday. And just a little bit more Transformers. Here's promo pics of Apeface, who is supposed to release on Amazon today. Again, I kind of remember Apeface, but mostly his 8 mode, which also may be me confusing myself with Zoids. I'm gonna move on. The Loot Crate NECA, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990 movie Spirit of Splinter, is fully funded. Woohoo! It's sitting pretty at 119% funded with 2 days to go, but to get to that point, NECA also released some new promotional pics of it where it makes me want some marshmallow roasting stick action going on. The crate includes several other things like what I'm assuming is a t-shirt because they asked for my shirt size, which is of course large. But the biggie here for me, and probably y'all, is the action figure itself. Splinter is cast in a translucent blue plastic with an iridescent paint job on top of that, and then a cloth robe. In fact, looking at it now, I can see some hijinks happening with Force Ghost Yoda and Force Ghost Obi-Wan. And then it comes with an LED campfire with a kind of a flickering flame effect to it. Unfortunately, it looks like the dress up and play gremlin that's also being kind of loot started. Loot launcher, that's what it's called. It's only sitting at 16% with the same 2 days left, But hey, stranger things have happened. You want this enough, you get it out there, let's see what happens. Never say never. Another endeavor recently funded is the Action Force Kickstarter. This is a line of 1/12 scale military themed figures, and there's a lot of stretch goals left to go. With the minimum funding goal, you get Bone Collector, you get Steel Brigade, you get Condor, but there's a lot left to go. So if you're interested in this line at all, it also has 2 days left. It's funny, the timing of all this. Go throw some money at that. Now is the time. McFarlane Toys has announced a couple of new Walgreens exclusive variants where we can, at least for the next couple of months, keep on awkwardly walking past the cashier with nothing in our hands at Walgreens. You know what I mean? We're used to it at Target, we're used to it at Walmart, they don't even look at us funny, but that one cashier sitting at the front of Walgreens, after we come in, spend 2 minutes in the toy section, then walk out without buying anything, they're kind of like, what the hell is going on here? The Game of Thrones King's Landing Arya Stark is essentially a repainted version of the Series 1 figure, but painted in the style of when everything went to hell at the end of the final season. Interpret that any way you want to. But then there is also the Doomslayer in the bronze Space Marine armor. I got that right. That was looking new. A lot of people have been asking if I was going to review the standard version of this in the green, and to be honest, Robo, definitely do not know this property. I know of Doom, but beyond that, I have no clue. I know more about Fortnite and Power Rangers than this. So, I hate to buy it and then, well, I like buying stuff. Seeing what's going on with the actual toy itself. But at the same time, I'm buying so much stuff. I got a stack of Transformers right here that I haven't even opened yet. Speaking of which, I got the McFarlane Fortnight Night Hair in the mail from GameStop yesterday, and it's looking like another winner in the big random monster that'll go on any shelf department. The Walgreens stuff should be hitting within the next month or so. But here's a little tease of the upcoming Jazwares Fortnite Legendary Series Raven that Mike DeCamp posted on his Instagram story last week sometime. Man, I love this line. Well, okay, the articulated fingers are probably a bit of plastic nostalgia that could have stayed in the past, but no line is perfect. I mean, come on. Give me Valkyrie, and then let's move on to the next series. Now. Super 7 has showed off pictures and a video of a test shot for their Masters of the Universe Snake Mountain. Holy moly, that's a big bastard. It's not in the right colors because test shots are usually run in just spare plastic that they already have in the machines, but it's a way for companies to tell what fits together and what needs to be changed and how well it looks all together and But just seeing it here in front of Brian Flynn looks impressive as all hell. Orders should be shipping early 2020, but if you didn't jump on it, pre-orders are still available at Entertainment Earth. Medicom has finally, I say finally, it's only been a month or so, they've officially solicited their MAFEX Spider-Man Far From Home upgraded suit, and it's not much more than what we've already seen with the magazine scans that came out a month ago. I mean, sure, it's more accurate in proportions and colors. It looks more like the movie than the SH Figure Arts version, which I love. I don't know, I think part of me is this whole back and forth with Bandai and Medicom. Release a Spider-Man, release a better Spider-Man later. I've already bought this one. I gotta buy this one because it looks better. It's getting a little bit tiresome. And I hate to say that. I really do. This time it's a little bit different because, like I said, I really do like the Figure Arts version here, flaws and all. It's almost like a comic adaptation of the Far From Home upgraded suit, which is kind of cool. But some of you were probably smarter than me and skipped the Bandai, knowing, well, thinking that Medicom was gonna kill it, and it looks like they did. I'm not talking myself into this. Not gonna do it. Nope. Comes with alternate heads, hands, some webs, the cell phone, the usual assortment of stuff. It's going for about $70 and it's scheduled to release in July of 2020, because in other Medicom news, the MAFEX comic book version of Wolverine set to release this month has been pushed to next month. This is nothing we did not expect. In fact, every MAFEX bit of news, I always say, scheduled, but will probably be pushed back. Hey, if I get better action figures out of it, I'll wait. I waited this long. We can wait a month or two more, because it wouldn't surprise me if we get to December and it's even pushed to January or February, somewhere in there. Just before I walked in here to record this, Storm Collectibles posted promotional shots and pre-order info on their DC Injustice Gods Among Us Doomsday. Yet another big boy. I feel like this is where Storm Collectibles excels when it comes to these kind of figures. Don't get me wrong, their superheroes look pretty good, their fighting game figures look pretty good, but big, monstrous. Even though Doomsday looks a little bit naked, because he actually is, but bony and shortsy, and it still looks cool. Comes with an assortment of hands, comes with 2 heads. You have and It's priced at $95 and comes out Q1 of 2020. Boy, they're putting out a lot of rubbery plastic in the next few months. In a weird, out-of-the-blue debut, GameStop put up for pre-order their exclusive Jedi Revan and Heavy Battle Droid last weekend. No fanfare, no announcement, just boom, come get them. I still don't know much about Revan. If you go back to that review, it's essentially, well, I don't know who Revan is, but this figure's kind of cool. But apparently there's options to either go light side or dark side, and this version is supposed to have an unmasked head or something? I don't know. Either way, in the white and the lighter colors, it looks spiffy as hell. And I really dig the purpleness of the package. It sticks out, it's eye-catching. But then when I read the words Heavy Battle Droid, my brain automatically went to Super Battle Droid. I got excited for a second, and then I realized, oh, it's a repaint of the standard Battle Droid in Battlefront 2 colors. Which is still cool. I'm all down for army building some Battle Droids and some clones and other sorts of things, but man, Super Battle Droids. Or Droidicas! $20 a piece, supposed to release next spring. But hot on the heels of that, Target also put up their exclusive Rise of Skywalker C-3PO and Babu Frick for order. Not pre-order, order. In fact, the site says that this is in stock at my local store. I just haven't made it over there to see if that's actually true. We knew 3PO was updated with the forearm arms that actually bend. There may be something different with his legs, but I didn't know his head had been modified to where you can pull the back shell off and see all the inner workings of his brain. Apparently to let Babu Frick get in there and nose around or do whatever he does. That figure looks pretty neato. It actually has some articulation on it, but I'm not going to be able to fight the urge to pit him against some porgs in some battle to the death action or something. But at least the price isn't higher here, what with it being a 2-pack. We've seen it, that little small figures, they call it a 4-pack, 2-pack, whatever. Plus it's an exclusive, so seeing that price point, yeah, not bad. Here's another oddity that popped up over the weekend. I don't know what a heavy infantry Mandalorian is, but I know that I now need one, especially after seeing The Mandalorian. The pictures were broken by Jason over at yakface.com, who I also had the pleasure of meeting at GalaxyCon over the weekend. According to him, they could be dropping at any time because apparently it's already been manufactured, it's already been shipped into the States. So maybe we'll see the official debut of this at the Comic-Con in Germany at the 1st of December, something? I don't know. I just know it looks badass. It's something else that may be dropping soon, given that there's new promotional pictures floating around out there, are the Marvel Legends Rider series of Cosmic Ghost Rider and Squirrel Girl. Doreen doesn't fit my mind's eye picture of Squirrel Girl for whatever reason, but at the same time it has all the elements. It's definitely Squirrel Girl's, and I'll be happy to have her on the shelf. Plus, she looks really good with the modified Deadpool scooter. And then, of course, squirrels. You know, gotta have squirrels. And I may not be familiar with Cosmic Ghost Rider, but you put the words Cosmic, Ghost, and Rider together, and I have a pretty good idea of what's going on here. It's an intimidating looking flaming skull guy with a fire chain whip, a pair of cosmic loaded pistols, and a unique badass space hog between his legs. Yep, I went there. I don't need to know anything else other than who to give my money to in order to receive these plastic gifts. Man, promo pics make me excited. I love seeing new stuff. But back to reality. This part I've tried to record several times. I went to edit it, and I can't find the proper tone, maybe? I'm not trying to get angry about it. I'm not trying to get sad, but it has to be said. If you follow any YouTubers right now, you've probably heard of the whole Copa Cabana? See, even in this kind of situation, I can't help making a joke. It's just... Earlier in the year, YouTube was fined $100 and some odd million by the FTC for collecting children's data for targeted ads. In fact, I was in Salt Lake at FanX talking to Shartimus when this all went down, and it was... we both kind of agreed, this can't be good. In response to that, instead of... I don't know, I feel like there could be other measures taken, but their action is to take anything that may be attractive to a child under the age of 13 and marking those videos made for kids. What does that mean? Number one, no more targeted ads for that video, which means the monetization on it is slim to none. But they're taking it a step further and taking away comment sections. They're taking away the end cards where we promote other videos. They're not going to promote your video anywhere else on their platform. And they're even going as far as to not tell your own subscribers that you've posted a new video. So essentially, you're just tossing out a video into invisible land. Okay. They've sent out their little machines and algorithms and everything, and they've already started hitting a bunch of, I only pay attention to toy reviewers and toy hunters and toy news, so I know a bunch of the guys and gals have already been hit by YouTube's automatic switching their videos to made for kids. And you can't switch that back. Yeah, once it's done, it's done. But they've also given you the option to mark them yourself as made for kids, which to me is essentially blowing your own head off, because YouTube is washing their hands of it. They're saying that it's up to you to mark it correctly. If you mark it as not for kids and the FTC comes along in their suits and their investigations and says, "Oh, you got toys, that's for kids, bad," then the creator of the video gets slapped with a $42,000 fine per video. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't got $42,000 just laying around to be paying fines over and over. I hear people talking about cursing in their videos. I hear put at the first of the video that's intended for an adult audience or 18 plus, 15 plus. It's the government, man. You gonna argue it? Even YouTube's saying go get a lawyer because we cannot hand you advice. I can't help but think they're using this as an excuse to thin the herd, to get rid of a lot of the smaller creators and channels, and then build up their big, huge channels that make them the more money, you know? Because on top of that, they've added new wording to their terms of service where if they don't find your channel financially viable, meaning if it doesn't make them the money they think they should be making, then they can delete your channel or even your Google account. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We're told for all these years to be family friendly in order to be monetized on your platform, and now we're too family friendly. I also have other people saying my demographic shows that 18 to 34 is my target audience. You notice those demographics don't have anything under the age of 13, so they can say whatever the hell they want. Oh, we don't show you these demographics, but here's this. Goodbye. So threats of invisibility, threats of fines, threats of deletion. I'm out. I can't take this kind of risk. I'm just up here trying to have fun, talk about some toys, talk about some adult collectibles, and they're pretty much... I don't know. I'm old school enough to accept the fact that if a place doesn't want me, then I don't need to be there. And some may say I'm overreacting, I'm jumping the gun, wait it out, but I also may be a little bit too hillbilly, because the revenuers come from a steal, I'm going to take my steal and move it somewhere else. At the moment, that's falling on Patreon. I know it gets a bad rap, and it's just like, hey, I'm supposed to pay for this kind of content. I understand completely, believe me. And I'm not saying y'all deserve my content, you gotta pay for it. It does take time, it does take money. I mean, that's what I'm saying. But I've tried to price it as low as possible. For $1, you get the reviews. Monday and Wednesday, new reviews. Thursday, I think I'm gonna do a throwback type thing where I post the old green background ones, and we can make fun of Uncle Robo on Thursdays, because those videos sucked. Funny story, whenever we decided we wanted to make a Fwoosh YouTube channel, I didn't want to do it at all. But the other 3 owners, they're big cities, big jobs, lots of responsibilities. I'm just a dumbass redneck from Arkansas that was working in a metal shop, had nothing to lose, so let's try it out. And ba-boom. We built something here. Talking to y'all, interacting with y'all, I got better. I got more comfortable in front of the camera. That may not be a good thing, but This is the most enjoyable, most fulfilling thing I've done in my life, besides get married and have children, you know, family stuff. Online, this is the most fulfilling part of the hobby that I've done so far. I've seen a lot of other creators grow, and I've looked up to creators, and it feels like it's not a hobby. It's not a community. It's not a fandom. It's a family, and that's what we've become. I go to a Comic-Con, and I'll be walking around, and I hear, "Hey, Robo!" And it's just like that. Boom! At GalaxyCon, the second night, I ended up getting in a vehicle with two what were strangers, quickly became friends. We went to dinner, we hung out, and it's like that all over the nation. I'm getting tweets from Germany, I'm getting tweets from Italy, from India. The love that has been put out since I made this announcement on socials yesterday, it's kind of amazing. And YouTube was the reason for all these connections. How I feel like I have friends all over the world. And a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have said that. I mean, like I said, I was just working in a metal shop, staring at a machine all day. Now, I know people all over the world, and that's thanks to YouTube. But it's just a platform. It's just a name. It's the biggest, and it's the most financially viable, or it was. But there's other platforms. Like I said, Patreon. I got way off track. $2 is going to get you the weekly, the news, con coverage, Fwoosh casts. I split those up because people may only be interested in one or the other. But $3, you get the whole shebang, and $5, I'm working with Dorkside Toys. We're going to do some giveaway stuff or some trivia contests where there will be a winner, 2, 3 a month. We'll see where it goes. Again, it's new territory. It's diving in. But again, I understand. I'm not forcing anybody to pay. I'm not expecting everybody to pay. All I'm saying is that's where the content will be going up first. And then on a delay, the reviews will hit Vimeo or Dailymotion, the Fwoosh front page. The news being on delay, it doesn't really work, but we'll see where that goes. I'm diving into an ocean here, and it's I'm feeling a little bit lost, but at the same time, it's kind of exciting because this may be a temporary thing. I'm looking, and actually, I've got a couple of leads on things. I'm waiting to hear back from Pornhub. I know. But as a family, as a group, if we all stick together and move somewhere, we can carve out another little niche somewhere where we can talk about toys. I feel like we're doing something wrong when we're not. We're not doing anything wrong. Why do I feel like a criminal all of a sudden? But like I said, broadsides. I got a call from Ben at Megalopolis this morning, and the timing is weird. Maybe they were expecting it, but they're trying to put together a streaming service too that's very, well, essentially toy collector news review related. So hopefully something comes from that too. I mean, I'm going to try to get in there, try to work on that. That's something for everybody. I mean, it's essentially a streaming service. You pay for it, you get a bunch of creators instead of a bunch of Patreons. I completely understand that may not be doable for a lot of people. So again, temporary solutions, working on more. But I feel like jumping out and starting to work on those things as soon as possible instead of waiting, hoping that YouTube makes a firm decision because of their vague rulings. Hell, the FTC is the same way, just vague wording where they can do whatever the hell they want at any time. I'm not going to wait around for that. I'm gone. I'm done. But I'm not gone. We will be out here. If you follow me on socials, I'll let you know where things happening, what's going on, what we're doing. We'll go from there. We'll figure it out. Just want to talk about toys. That should not be a hard thing. But apparently it is. I don't know. Well, I may leave Sundays on here and talk about other stuff, not toy related. Just to keep my foot in the door a little bit. Just to keep my thumb up their butt. I don't know. It's hard to think. Nearly 1,000 videos, 20 million views, which that's all y'all. I owe all this to y'all. I was looking forward to 75,000 subscribers. I was looking forward to a little plaque, a little trophy when I got to 100,000. But you know what? That's just numbers. That's just YouTube, everybody thinks YouTube's the only way to do this, and let's prove them wrong. Let's change the status quo. I mean, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Probably should have written something out like that, and I'm sorry for rambling all the way around, but so many thoughts, so much stuff going on. We'll figure it out. So if you enjoyed this Fwoosh Weekly, comment for as long as you can until they deem this for kids. Like, which may be the only thing. Hell, they'll probably take that away too. And subscribe if you feel like it. But we're heading to greener, well, it may not be greener pastures. We may have to plant some things, but they're pastures. But I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh.